Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the KBShimmer Mix It Up collection. There are 6 neon creams here and then this clear-based black confetti topper. I will link the KBShimmer website down below where you guys can check those out because they are available right now. I will have comparisons after the swatches, 7 polishes altogether, so let's get into it. So these are the boxes that the KBShimmer polishes come in with the holographic lettering. The first polish is called Let's Bounce, and this is described as a vivid chartreuse. Also, some of these shades, this one included, are blacklight reflective, and I had every intention of showing them under the blacklight, and I pulled my blacklight out like 30 minutes ago to do that, and it is dead. So, don't have that today. This is sheer, kind of crelly-ish on that first coat. It is a little bit streaky. My nails have a lot of pretty gnarly ridges on them, but still kind of streaky. And this does dry matte, but that's pretty typical for a neon. The color builds well on the second coat, but was still a little bit patchy for me, so I tried to do as much brush floating as possible to avoid making those any worse. It is still a little bit patchy on the third coat. Not as bad. It did clean up pretty well, but it does look a little bit better on camera than it did in person. I still didn't love this. I think it might be better with a ridge filling base coat, or maybe someone that paints over like a gel extension or a gel overlay or something that really smooths out the natural nail. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't perfect. So that is 3 coats of Let's Bounce. The next polish is called Scratch That. This is a clear-based matte black glitter topper. It's mostly shredded glitter, and then there are some chunkier like stars and circles in there as well, like moderately chunky. So I have this over Let's Bounce right here, but I do have it over all the other colors as we get to them. So there's a lot of glitter in here. It takes just a little manipulation to spread things out evenly. It is mostly shredded glitter, but then you get those pops of those slightly chunkier but really obvious, like clearly defined shapes of the stars and the circles. I actually really like the addition of those in this. This is going to dry very chunky and be difficult to remove because it is a chunkier glitter. So that is 1 coat of Scratch That. The next polish is called Totally Outrageous, and this is where we're getting into the colors that are going to just like completely blow the camera out and be really hard to accurately show. And this one is described as a neon red-orange cream. And this one is also blacklight reflective as well. Good formula on this one, a little bit thin, I feel like, more crelly-like, but more even than Let's Bounce was. Color is going to change here a little bit in a second as I like adjust my lights and try to get it a little bit more color accurate because it's showing almost coral at first. The color built really nicely in 2 coats for me. I think I would probably stop here to wear it, but there was a little bit of nail line poking through and I wanted to see if I could cover that because these things do tend to dry a little bit more sheer than they are when they're wet. And that nail line was very, very hard to see, if not impossible to see on camera, but it was there, but 3 coats covered it completely. So that is 3 coats of Totally Outrageous on its own and with the Scratch That topper, which looks very chunky because I did not top coat it. The next polish is called Mix It Up, and this is described as an electric pink cream, and this one is also blacklight reflective. I think this is the last one that is, though. This one is a little bit darker, and I did adjust the lights already, so this didn't blow out my camera quite as badly, but also kind of a crelly finish, a bit sheer to start, but it is still pretty even, and it does dry matte. Same as the last shade, it built well on 2 coats. I just had a little bit of nail line still that was very hard to see on camera, but I felt like I should see if I could get it covered up, so I added a 3rd coat, and it did cover the nail line completely for me in that 3rd coat. So that is 3 coats of Mix It Up on its own, and then also with Scratch That. This is a very thick coat. I wrote the word impatient in my notes, which I'm guessing means that I didn't wait for my base color to dry enough, messed it up with the topper, and then had to put a bunch more topper on to fix it. The next polish is called Net Gains, and this is described as a violet-leaning purple cream. Great formula on this one, great coverage on this one, very, very opaque on that first coat, not quite a 1-coater, but very opaque and pretty even. It also does dry matte. This covered easily and completely for me in 2 coats. I feel like this dried not just a little darker than when it was wet, but almost a little cooler than when it was wet. If you look at this compared to with the topper on it, I feel like it looks a little bit cooler. So that is 2 coats of Net Gains on its own and with Scratch That over top. The next polish is called To The Max, and this is described as a cornflower cream. Good formula on this one, also leaning a little bit crelly, but still very nicely opaque and mostly even. This one actually didn't dry matte like the others, which is, I guess, makes sense. Easily covered in 2 coats. It was very close in 1, so no surprise there. So that is 2 coats of To The Max on its own and also with Scratch That as a topper. And the last polish is called Roll On By, and this is described as a teal cream. Great formula on this one, great coverage, nearly opaque in one coat, not quite there, but very close. This, again, easily covered in 2 coats, and I also feel like this one dried a little bit darker than it was when it was wet. So that is 2 coats of Roll On By on its own and with the topper. Okay, so I don't have anything comparable in my KBShimmer polishes for Scratch That. This is just a really unique topper as far as my KBShimmer collection goes. I don't think I have any clear-based black glitter from them, and if I did, I feel like it'd be really old and a lot chunkier than this, but I don't think I have one, so don't have anything to show you for this. And I also surprisingly didn't have anything for Roll On By either. This is not one that I was able to find anything even close enough to compare in my KBShimmer polishes, so kind of surprised by that. I might have missed something, but I don't have anything here to show you right now. So for Let's Bounce, I have 2 little sections here. This first one is all the bright moves. Okay, before I get started, let me preface this by saying that all polishes in general, when I dig into a brand like KBShimmer, and especially something like a cream polish that's not gonna have a ton of comparisons, and the comparisons aren't gonna be super recent, like, you know, they'd only do this like once a year maybe, so the comparisons are going to go pretty far back. There's a very good chance that a lot of these colors are not what they looked like originally. Some of these bottles are old, they've been stored properly, but that can't always save a polish from fading or changing color. So if something looks a little bit off, it might be YouTube, it might be my camera, it might be your device, but it could also be that some of these are older and might not look like they looked when they were brand new. That being out of the way, for Let's Bounce, this here is all the bright moves. This is much more yellow. This is Ready for a Good Lime. This is much more of like a almost like neon pastel mint. It doesn't have that highlighter yellow property that Let's Bounce has. This one is Race Against Slime. This is very, very true neon green. And then this one is For Sale by Owner. Again, very like minty neon pastel, kind of, I feel like less minty than Ready for a Good Lime, but these two are kind of close. Not like that's what we're here for, but they are kind of close. For the second grouping here, I have Sand By Me. This is much more yellow, like paler yellow. This one is Rum Me the Right Way. This is a more true like sunshine yellow. And then this one is Lime All Right. Again, more of like a neon pastel. It's got way more green, like true creamy green to it rather than this like highlighter greeny yellow. You know what? I don't think that Shoots I don't think some of these got top coat on them. I keep doing that. I keep forgetting that I haven't top coated some of these. Some of the Let's Bounce comparisons probably didn't have top coat also, but those were so bright that I'm not sure you would have been able to pick it up. So this is Net Gains here, and then this one here is called Let's Be Frank. This is a much warmer, more reddy purple. Also, if you see a lot of color change, I have to move my lights pretty far away from these more bright like neon oranges and yellows just to try to get the color as accurate as possible, though I have learned in the last decade that that is kind of a lost cause. So this here is, what is this? So this is Totally Outrageous, and this is Please Don't Glow Girl. You can see where Totally Outrageous has that like neon coral. It's got a bit of pink, a bit of red to it, where Please Don't Glow Girl is a very, very true bright neon orange. So this one here in the middle is Mix It Up. This is Color Me Real. This is a little bit more red rather than neon pink. This one here though is How Low Can You Flamingo, and these are very, very close. They look identical on the camera because the pink is kind of blowing the camera out a little bit. In person, I would say that Mix It Up is just like a teeny tiny bit, I don't want to say brighter, but like more vibrant, maybe a little bit darker, but I mean, they're like almost identical. How Low Can You Flamingo is still available on the KBShimmer website as well. So if you already have that one, I don't think you need to worry about Mix It Up. I think they're just way too close. This one is To the Max, and this here is Little Boy Hue. This is a much dustier, more muted gray blue, so nothing even remotely close there. Totally Outrageous is going to be my favorite, combined with the black topper with Scratch That. So I really do like this topper. I think this is probably the best polish out of all of them, but if I'm going to go like combination wise, I really like a bright like neon coral, and I'm not someone that gravitates towards coral other times of the year and other types of like coral shades, but I do really, really like a bright neon one. And I also really like this topper. At first, I thought this was going to be a black flake topper, and I was like kind of excited about that, but it's also something that I feel like I've been seeing a lot in the last like couple of years. So I've got plenty of black flake toppers. But this is cool because this has huge range of like larger glitter all the way to really tiny glitters. The distribution's really good. And there's shapes, like clear and obvious shapes would stand out really nicely over those neon colors. So I like this one also. The combination of the two. So that is the KBShimmer Mix It Up collection for summer 2024. Again, those are available right now. So I will link the KBShimmer website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.